Hello, loves. It's Josie. Welcome to Eccentric. If you're new to my channel, forgive this live feed if it doesn't do what you want it to do. Okay, and forgive yourself for your reaction, for missing words or whatever that may happen. Okay. The title of this video is "Why Are You Waiting?" And waiting is in quotations because that is up for debate. Okay. I want to talk about the difference between patience and the natural flow and waiting. When you say the word patience, it just sounds more mature and wise. When you say waiting, it just sounds more abrasive and constrictive. Okay? So just the vibration of the words alone, there's a huge difference. And some of you, I don't feel like you realize that you are waiting instead of being patient, or the other way around. You may be um being patient, but you think you're waiting. Sometimes we get confused. We don't really know which one we're doing. So I want to help you recognize when you're waiting and when you're being patient, okay? Again, it starts with the energy. When you're waiting, you're going to worry. You're going to feel this constrictive energy. You're going to want to control things. Your focus is going to be on whatever it is you're waiting for. And it's going to be hard for you to focus on other things, okay? So that's one tip. When you're being patient, you have an understanding that you are in the flow and things are going to happen the way they're going to happen, and you're not worried about controlling it. You're making yourself busy with other things. Your focus is not obsessed with that thing that you're being patient about. You have ideas that come up even while you're being patient about some things. You got ideas that come up about other things, and you start, nurturing those ideas as well. You're able to nurture yourself and whatever it is that you're presently expressing and dealing with while you're being patient. There's an expansive energy. There's a energy of life when you're being patient. There's also joy and celebration when you're being patient. When you're waiting for something, you like to restrict yourself. Well, I'm waiting for this, so I can't do that. I'm waiting for this, so I can't purchase this or that. Well, what can you do while you're waiting? You know, um, waiting for a person. Let's say we're waiting for a person to change in a relationship. Um, and this could be a child, your child, uh, adults, your grandmother, your mother. It doesn't always have to be a partner or a spouse, right? When you're waiting for them to change in a relationship, they trigger you constantly, and you're constantly wishing that they were different when you are waiting for someone to evolve or change. And you constantly build resentment and, again, restriction. And then you start to blame the person for the reason why things are not happening in your life, because you are waiting for a change in that person to happen. You might be listening to that person saying that they're going to change or they're sorry or whatever. But nevertheless, you are waiting in that constricted, controlled energy, that lifeless energy that put everything on hold energy, that poor me energy. You're waiting. You're not being patient in those situations. Now, when you're being patient in relationships, you are not trying to control the natural evolution of that person. You are allowing them to be who they are in each moment, and you're allowing them to take opportunities to evolve. You don't feel resentment toward them every time they don't show up 100%. You understand that they are where they are, and it doesn't affect you because you have your shit together. And you're going to keep having your stuff together no matter if they have it together or not. And you know that you have the power to choose not to have the experience with them at any point. But you're there with them and you're experiencing with them, and you are able to focus on their victories. You're able to focus on the positive parts of their evolution. You're actually able to see it. You're not blinded because you're waiting. When you're being patient, you see things that you wouldn't see if you were waiting, because you're open to new ideas and seeing things differently. And what I found personally is when you are being patient with someone, you actually end up evolving yourself, because you start to understand certain things about how they operate and how things go with them, and you realize that you wanted it to happen a certain way, but it can't happen a certain way for them. They're a different person. It can happen that way for you. But when you're waiting for someone, you can't see any of that. So the last thing you're thinking about is changing the way that you think and feel about the situation. When you're waiting, it's a very concrete energy. It's a, you need to get your stuff together. You need to do this, this, and this, or else whatever. There's ultimatums. It's just very rough energy. But when you're being patient with someone, you are able to focus on yourself and love on yourself while they are choosing their opportunities to evolve. And then at the same time, you're able to learn how it is that they function and operate. You're able to learn maybe where you had some expectations that were unrealistic. But you're okay with that because you know that you don't control other people. You only control yourself. And you know that you are the ultimate decision maker no matter what the other person says. So when you're being patient with somebody, it doesn't mean that you can't exit the situation. It just means you exit differently. Let's say you're waiting for someone and they don't show up like you need them to show up. When you exit that situation, when you finally decide, okay, I'm done waiting for you, I'm going to move on with my life, or I'm going to spend less time with you, right? You are bitter. You're still in an angry, resentful, there's no, and then there's a purpose for you to have to forgive, because you created all of this animosity when you disconnect from somebody after waiting for them. But when you were patient with someone and you disconnect from them from a heart space, you don't have all of that resentment. You're able to still think about that person without getting angry and just thinking that they owe you and all kinds of stuff like that. Okay? You're able to move on in love and still honor them and respect the way that they evolved away from you. You're able to see all of this stuff and understand it to where you're not taking things personally and feeling like you're sacrificed and all kinds of stuff like that. So it's very important to know when you're waiting and when you're being patient. Now let's talk about some examples for when you're trying to manifest something: a job, a house, a car, whatever it is that you're trying to manifest. Same scenario. When you're waiting, when you put yourself in waiting energy and you're trying to manifest something, and what's happening is you're putting things on hold because you're waiting for this manifestation, you don't realize the things that you're putting on hold may be stepping stones to get what it is that you want, but you think that they're distractions, or you think that they're going to take you away from your manifestation that you're trying to materialize. Because when you're waiting, it's very hard for you to see opportunities because the energy is blinding and restricting and very matter of fact and concrete. And when you're dealing with the spirit world, when you're dealing with energy, it's fluid. It's not start and stop. It's not just this one thing is the forever thing. So when you're waiting and you're trying to manifest something, you're not going to see opportunities to get the thing that you want because you're going to think they're distractions. And then you're going to be hard on yourself, and you're going to ask yourself, what's wrong with me? Am I doing this right? Because you're going to make it really intellectual and technical. I said what I needed to say. I burned the candle. Why is this not working? It's because you're waiting for something to happen. Now, when you are manifesting and you're being patient, you burnt the candle, you lit the paper on fire, whatever. You said your affirmations, right? And then you were done with it. You started focus on whatever you enjoy. You started going to enjoy yourself. And then while you were enjoying yourself, you noticed certain opportunities. And as they came, you responded, you took those opportunities because you just knew that you were going to get your manifestation. You didn't have to worry about it. You didn't have to feel any kind of way about controlling it. You already knew. So what you initially did was done. And you weren't even really thinking about it anymore. And then opportunities popped up. You were able to see them because you were open. Okay? And you took those opportunities even though they didn't seem like they were even connected to your manifestation at all. You took the opportunities because, again, it was expansive. It was an expansive experience. Sure, of course I'll take this part-time gig. Oh, sure, I'll take, I'll volunteer here or whatever the case may be. And then when you get into those side experiences, you end up meeting someone that helps you, gives you information, or is able to help you get your manifestation quicker. It speeds up for you instead of slowing down like when you're waiting. Spirit will send people in your life to give you information and opportunities that will have you defy the rules of time when you're being patient. So it's so funny about the tortoise and the hare, and how the tortoise won the race, even though it naturally just moves slower. The tortoise is patient with itself. It doesn't overdo anything. It's not trying to control nothing. And the tortoise every now and again will stop, have a snack. If it needs to rest, it'll chill out. It's like, I'll get there. I ain't worried about that. I'm enjoying the trip. I'm enjoying the journey. And then, it gets there. It's not thinking about how fast it's going or if it's going to win. And that's the same thing. That's the same attitude you got to have with manifesting. You're going to get there. No matter who thinks you're not going to get there, you don't have to worry about what they think. Even if you say, oh, next year I'm going to do this. Everybody's talking about what they're going to do in 2022. Well, guess what? If it doesn't happen for you in 2022, it might happen for you January 1st of 2023. The bottom line is that it happened. And you don't have to worry about what other people say or all this and that. This is why you don't tell all your business everywhere all the time. You know, people restrict themselves again because they go out there and they say, oh, I'm going to do this. But then they're attached to what they're saying. When you say you're going to do something and you declare it to the universe, you say now. In the now. For that reason. Because there's so many people that get caught up, oh, I'm going to get a car in the springtime. And you're running around saying, I'm going to get a car in the springtime. And then that doesn't happen. And people are looking at you like, yeah, that stuff doesn't work. You open yourself up for that adversity. And you're not being reinforced. You're being torn down. Okay? And then you have to work extra hard to reinforce yourself. To believe in yourself. But if you say, I'm just manifesting a car. And you're not putting a time on it. It could come anytime and you won't have to deal with that extra mess of people, pushing back on you and saying, oh, I thought you were going to manifest a car, because y'all know those people. And again, sometimes it's very, very important to only talk to the people that you trust and that are supportive when you're manifesting something. Okay? So the bottom line is waiting is a constrictive, concrete, limiting energy. So if you feel that way about something, you're going to have to switch over to patience. Patience allows you to expand and take detours, enjoy the journey, nurture yourself and others while your manifestation is coming to you, while transformation is taking place. Okay? That's very important, loves, for the now. Okay? We're living in a very fluid energy right now. It's very fluid. Time is dissolving. So it's very important to have patience with yourself, other people, and the processes that are being destroyed. Because there's new processes being born at the same time. Okay? Hey, Drew. But I'm going to let y'all go. Happy whenever y'all see this. And have a beautiful day, night, evening, love. Bye.